Hey, we're framing the walls on my custom DIY pole barn. Commercial bookshelf framing, something you don't see very often. I'll give you all the reasons and the costs, all next on HomePro Hero. This is a totally custom barn. I created it on SketchUp. Building it from scratch with a little bit of help from subcontractors when it makes sense. I want to catch you up on the project. You saw us already drill the holes, put the posts up, made sure everything was level. The headers have been notched on the top of the posts. The rafters have been installed, and I've installed the purlins. Today, we're starting with the walls, bookshelf / commercial framing. You don't see it very often, not quite sure why, because it's going to make the building stronger and more efficient. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. On traditional, what they do is they nail the girt boards on the outside, 2 foot on center. If you ever finish the inside, you have to do the same thing on the inside. When it comes to commercial framing, which I'm doing today, everything is inside of the post. So once the outside's done, the inside's done too. It's going to make it much more stronger because all the structure is inside the post and it attaches to the inside of the post, which could prevent it from blowing over. Another big disadvantage of traditional pole barn framing is the efficiency of the building itself. When you face nail, you're going to have a gap 1.5 inches wide from one post to the other post, or I guess from one cavity to the other cavity, which is going to lead to possibly drafts or inefficiency with insulation. When you frame with 2x6 commercial bookshelf framing, everything's inside. So when you spray the cavity with foam or you put insulation or both, it's nice and tight. Each cavity's tight and it doesn't carry over to the other cavity, which is going to make your building much more efficient when it comes to heating and cooling. I want to make sure the building's tight and stronger, and commercial framing does that for me. So what's the disadvantages? You think it would be price of lumber. The big difference is labor. In my situation, the labor's free and it's my building, so I care. I'm going to use commercial framing. With all that said, let's get to work. So let's start with the first piece I have to do, which is going to be, I guess, my vertical girt, right? Treated because it's going to be in contact with not only concrete, but also likely the ground. You can see I put a notch here. That notch is actually going to receive this tongue and groove 2x6. When stacked up on top of each other, like this. The reason why I did that is because this will sit flush within the wall, such as this. Not only does it fit that purpose of fitting inside the wall, the concrete guy on the back side will bring his concrete up to this line all the way around the building, which will keep my slab nice and level. Speaking of level, we have to make these level. Let me show you over here on the wall. So if you saw the first video, my contractor actually put a level line on every one of my posts on this building. He used a rotary laser. So what I have to do is I got this line and I made this jig with a couple side pieces. I'm simply going to bring that jig, screw it on right there. That's going to put this height exactly where this height needs to be all the way around the building, such as this. Okay, first one up is this one. There we go. I guess I'd want it snug. This is the level line that my contractor put here. Go up to it. Don't have to put much on this. Okay, good. So it's temporarily installed. Now all we have to do is install these nice, straight, and level, right? Like this. First one's on. Here's the other side. Same as the first side. See how that looks? Man, it's gonna be perfect. Out of nails. My only complaint with this, it runs out of nails. If it never ran out of nails, it'd be an awesome gun. But totally impressed with it, by the way. So the hardest part of the jig is just getting there, I guess. There we go. Now, so when it comes to the corner, pretty much the same process. I mean, just use one of the 3 sides. See that? It's a perfect inside corner, both ways. They're all on, at least the areas that need them. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut the bottom skirt boards. Okay, I could use a tape measure, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my HuPar line laser. Find the red dot. These things work great even in the sunlight. Boom, 86 3/4. Pretty simple. 86 3/4. So the bottom one goes on just like this, and we're gonna have this tongue downward, so this will be at the top. That way it's nice and flat at the very top where it hits the dirt boards. That's it. Oops, it did. Okay, make sure it's nice and tight. Bingo. The concrete on the inside will actually come up to the line in the inside, right? And I'll put gravel from here to the ground to make sure the concrete doesn't get out. Let's put her in. Hopefully it's a snug fit, which it is. Not too snug though. Boom. Boom. There we go. Looks good. That's it. Tell you one thing, the sun sure does feel good. All right, 22.5 right here. Right there. Same thing on this side. Ooh. Okay, you don't want these to fit too snug. That's pretty good right there. It's right on the money. Huh. I didn't even try. All right, flush. Boom. Over and over again. Repeat it, right? It's kind of boring. Come on, need a ladder here real soon. One section done. We got what, 1, 2, 3, 4 bats of 22.5, which will fit 23-inch insulation, and we'll have to put a little sliver up there. Not a big deal. That's it. This is commercial bookshelf framing. Obviously it's bookshelf for a reason, right? I can put books here, right? Pretty simple. So I've got all the pieces cut for the next section. I want to see how long it takes me to do it since everything's cut. So there's my timer. All right, let's see what we got. Real time, right? 6:44, not too bad. Okay, I got her done. Pretty simple, really. It just took me time to get all the cuts and stuff. So I'm gonna knock that short side out real quick before it gets too dark out. But so far, so good. I really like it. It's really cold today, but I don't think I'm gonna get much better than this. This is why people don't build homes in the wintertime, because it's brutal. Got the Anker power bank tied into the saw. Hey, keep in mind too, I can run batteries. I can run these big old FlexVolt batteries on this saw, but why would I when I got the Anker down there? It's got a lot more power than these. I mean, these are great batteries and very expensive, but that thing has a lot more battery power than these, and I can use these for other tools that require it. Same process, really. I mean, you've seen me do enough now to know that it's not hard. So nothing crazy here. Once again, we're just gonna build sections. Now I gotta go up higher, I gotta tie into the slanted roof, which I haven't really thought about how I'm gonna do that yet. Several different ways to do it, but bottom line, we're gonna start at the bottom, work our way up. Hope it fits. There we go. Oh yeah. A little sloppy, not perfect, but oh well, I can live with it. Now I just gotta nail it. Let me finish up the top of this real quick. And we'll knock out this other side, and then this back wall is pretty much ready and done. Bingo. Sure. It's coming. Glad this section's done. Pretty square. Ran pretty true all the way up. Let's go knock out the top of this one, and then maybe move to the front. Pretty cold out. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna go today. I'm starting to wimp out, I guess. Okay, we got good news and bad news. The good news is the back is done, turned out really well. It took me maybe an hour and a half to knock it out. The good news is also we're moving to the front. The bad news is I am just short about this much of the tongue and groove 2x6. I need 1 inch. So, and it's like $43 for 16 feet. Kind of sucks. Should have been a little bit more conservative somehow. So you sold on the bookshelf framing yet, or are you still liking the traditional framing? Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm kind of curious. See if you think the same way I think. Okay, we're in good shape. Got both sides knocked out. I really like the way that ties in at the very top. It's real nice and neat, especially in the front. The back I struggled with, a lot bigger span, but those are simple. I'm gonna change my focus now to over here. Slightly different process here for the fact that I got a porch here. If you remember, these I cut earlier for all the other areas. They were twice as long. This notch was twice as long. So I cut off the bottom notch, which eliminates the bottom board, because the slab's gonna go underneath this part right here. So I can't get my jig on because I've already framed this out. So all I'll do is just come over here and grab the exact location of that other one over there. That's where the top of that has to be. So window height on the barn, I don't know exactly what to set that at because it was kind of like all over the place on the internet, but I figure I just come to my house and measure what we got there, which the bottom of that window is about 29. So we'll shoot for 30, and then these windows are about 5 feet tall, and I like the size of them, like width-wise, but I'm gonna have them separated, so 30, we'll go maybe 30 wide. So 5 tall, 30 wide, so 60 by 30 windows. So that wasn't too tough. Keep in mind, it looks kind of goofy now because of the way the posts are and the windows are. You would think that this window would be center in here and this window would be center in here. That's not the case. We want the finished look to look good. And when I put that sheathing on and when I do the siding, they'll look nice and balanced on both sides. Believe me, I'm OCD. They're gonna be right on the money, I guarantee it. We'll install these on the back wall. We'll frame that back wall up to the same height as the front wall, and then we'll tackle those arches together. Oh, those arches suck. They've gotten easier since I gotten used to it. I try to put crown side down, but it doesn't really matter too much on these. I do want to get the OSB on fairly quick so I don't have any sag in these things. The OSB will keep them upright. That front wall took me a little while framing those windows in, but it looks good. I like it. Oh man, the battery finally went dead. That's odd. I don't know how long. I think I've been using this since yesterday morning. I think it's my first battery change. Incredible. Good to go. This wall is completely framed. Whoops, there goes the hammer. Okay, I think I'm gonna shut it down. I really don't want to attack that. Okay, I wanted to switch things up. I'm getting sick of building walls down lower, and I'm running out of lumber too. So I'm coming up top. I'm gonna frame the windows in up here. Long story short, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark center in each one of these cavities, and then I'm framing out 4 boxes. I got everything cut back here already. Then put a center mark on the box I'm gonna pre-assemble up here, and then I'll attach them to the underside of the header. Yeah, that's right there on the money. Okay, so that's gonna hold it for temporarily. Boom. And then this end down here sticking out just a tad bit. Right there. Boom. That's pretty much it. Okay, then we'll just take the middle off. A little floppy, but we'll fix that here in a minute. Boom. Okay, next square, I'll get the other 3 knocked out, install them the same exact way, dead center in each opening. The rough opening is not bad at all. Put all these 2x6s underneath each window first, and then I'll come back with some verticals next. The windows I'm putting in aren't very heavy at all. They're really cool windows. They weigh nothing, believe it or not, and they look phenomenal. Slow going today. Big time, up and down those ladders, but I've got it all knocked out. I'll probably have to put some additional blocking in there just for the heck of it when I get ready to sheath, but not a big deal, it's easy. Next day, right? Seems like I've been out here 1,000 days, but Really hasn't taken me that long. Just been working like 4 and 5 hour segments here and there, and getting the tools out every time kind of sucks. But we're gonna go ahead and frame this area up. Should be pretty simple. I got one traditional book shelf framing to do, and then I gotta do is run some 2x6s up like this, just like I did back here in the back. So makes it pretty simple and easy, really. So check out, this is another reason why I like this bookshelf framing, the way that the upright studs tuck right in between the rafters on both sides of the 6x6. It's like perfect. Makes it super, super easy when you have the double rafter there. So all the walls are framed. Now we're gonna move on to the garage door openings. Since the concrete floor is not in yet, we're gonna do ourselves a favor. And if you remember right, I'm gonna have the concrete guys pour their concrete to the line right here. So that means I can just measure right on over to give me my bottom of my 2x6 here. I want to make sure I get my height right, so I'm going to go off that line to get my height of my header. Same thing over here. Yeah, we're going to go up 9 foot from that mark. I'll probably do it in 2 sections, so I'm going to use a regular 2x6 towards the top. I'll use a treated 2x6 at the bottom, so I'll do it in 2 different pieces. That way I can take the 2 treated pieces off so they can pour the seal, and then I'll put the 2x6s back on once they get done with the concrete work. So it makes it look nice and clean. 5/16. I'm probably going to do 1/19 and a quarter. Just to make sure it's not too tight. I'm putting this in by myself, so I don't want to have to kill myself trying to get this thing in. So we're gonna go 1/19 and a quarter. I'm gonna cut 2 2x10s to 1/19 and a quarter, and then I'm gonna cut some blocks. I know I've said this a lot in the past, but I hope it fits. I got my 3-pound friend to help me. Come on, please fit. And hope I don't kill myself. Goal is to get this side in the pocket without it falling. Barely. We get the clamp on for safety. I think we'll be all right here. Oh man, that wasn't hard at all. You can do it by yourself. You can build a barn by yourself, right? Time has come. Remember, this thing's not fastened at all, so it's just barely hanging on. It's on the money. Okay, we're just gonna nail this in real quick. I am gonna cap this with a 2x6. Think it was a good idea. And then I'll run my verticals off that. That turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. So the upper garage door header is in place. Let's move on to the man door. So I'm going with the 32 like I planned. I went ahead and measured up 83 inches from my concrete line to the top. 82.5 standard rough measurements for a door. All right, there we go. Nice and firm. That's framed. Let's head to the back door. About done here. Woo. Exact same process as in the front door. I got her done. The outside's framed and the inside's framed now too. I love commercial framing on pole barns, bookshelf framing. So what it costs? About $1,300. That included all the lumber for the walls, the headers, the skirt boards, screws, nails, and all that good stuff. I got about 30 hours in it, probably 6 or 7 days of me yanking the tools out here, doing 4 or 5 hours at a time. Next video, I'm sheathing, house wrap, and we're putting those eaves on the end. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you like it by giving it a thumbs up. I'll see you next time. Take care.